My name is Zoe. I am 35 years old. This is my story. It is not a happy story, but I think it is an important story. I live in a small apartment now. It is quiet. Sometimes it is too quiet. I look around at my life, and I ask myself, how did I get here? The answer is simple. I believed his promises. I waited for him. Now I am 35, and he is married to someone else. I feel like I wasted my life. My story starts 10 years ago. I was 25. I was so different then. I was full of hope. I thought life was a beautiful journey. I worked in a little bakery. I loved the smell of fresh bread in the morning. I loved seeing the happy faces of customers. My life was simple. It was small, but I was happy. I had friends. I had dreams. I wanted to open my own little cake shop one day. A small dream, but it was mine. Then I met Liam. He came into the bakery one rainy afternoon. He was tall. He had kind eyes and a warm smile. He bought a coffee and a croissant. He talked to me. He asked about my day. He was easy to talk to. He made me laugh. He came back the next day, and the next. Soon, it was our little routine. He would come in for his coffee. We would talk for a few minutes. Those few minutes became the best part of my day. He asked me out on a date. I was so nervous, so excited. We went to a small Italian restaurant. We talked for hours. He told me about his dreams. He was very ambitious. He wanted to start his own business, an architecture firm. He wanted to build beautiful buildings. His eyes sparkled when he talked about it. I loved listening to him. He was so passionate. He made me feel like anything was possible. He told me I was special. He said he had never met anyone like me. He said my kindness was like sunshine. I believed him. I fell in love with him very quickly. It felt like a movie. He was the handsome, ambitious man. I was the simple girl from the bakery. He chose me. It felt like a dream. We spent all our free time together. We went for long walks in the park. We watched old movies. We cooked dinner together in my small apartment. He talked a lot about the future, our future. One day, Zoe, he would say, we will have a beautiful house, a big kitchen for you to bake your cakes, a garden, everything. He painted a beautiful picture, and I saw myself in it. I saw us, happy together. After about a year, things felt very serious. I was so happy. I thought he would ask me to marry him soon. My friends thought so too. He is the one, Zoe, they would say. You two are perfect together. I hoped they were right. I dreamed about our wedding, about our life. One evening, we were sitting by the river. The city lights were beautiful. I thought this was the moment. He took my hands. He looked into my eyes. My heart was beating so fast. Zoe, he said. His voice was serious. I love you more than anything. You know that, right? I nodded. I couldn't speak. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, he continued. This was it. But, he said, there was a but. My heart sank a little. I need to do something first. My business. It's just starting. It needs all my time, all my money. I'm not ready to give you the life you deserve. The wedding, the house, the security. I can't give you that right now. I listened. I understood. He was responsible. He was thinking about our future. I have a plan, he said. I need 5 years. Just 5 years. I will work very hard. I will build my business. I will make it successful. And then, once I have done that, we can have everything we dreamed of. I promise you, Zoe. I promise. Will you wait for me? Will you support me? 5 years felt like a long time, but he looked at me with so much love in his eyes. His promise felt real. It felt solid. I loved him. I wanted to be part of his dream, part of our dream, so I said yes. Of course, I will wait for you, Liam, I said. I will always support you. He hugged me so tightly. He kissed me. Thank you, he whispered. You won't regret this. It will be worth it. I believed him. That was my big mistake. I believed his promise. And my 10 years of waiting began. I thought it was 5 years. It became 10. The first couple of years of waiting felt easy. It felt right. I was in love. Liam was working hard, very hard. He was building his business from nothing. I was so proud of him. I felt like his partner, his teammate. I supported him in every way I could. He often worked late into the night. I would bring him dinner at his small, rented office. I would listen to him talk about his projects, his challenges, his small victories. I didn't always understand the business details, but I understood his passion. I continued my job at the bakery. My own dream of a cake shop felt far away. But that was okay, I told myself. My dream can wait. Our dream comes first. This was our sacrifice for our future. I lived in my small apartment. I saved my money carefully. I thought I was saving for our wedding, for our house. Our time together was precious. We didn't go out to expensive restaurants anymore. We didn't take vacations. Every penny went into his business. Our dates were simple. A walk in the park, a movie at home. But I was happy because he was there. He would hold my hand and say, "Thank you for this, Zoe. Thank you for believing in me. It will all be worth it. Soon I will spoil you. I promise." His promises were my food. They kept my hope alive. My friends started to get married. I went to their weddings. I smiled. I celebrated with them. But a small part of me felt sad. When will it be my turn? I would look at Liam, standing next to me. He would smile and whisper, "Soon, my love. Our day will be even better." And I would believe him. My family liked Liam, but my mother was a little worried. "He's a good man, Zoe," she would say. "But 5 years is a long time. Are you sure?" I would get defensive. "Yes, Mom, I'm sure. We have a plan. It's a good plan. We are building a strong foundation for our future." I sounded so confident. I was trying to convince her. And maybe, a little bit, I was trying to convince myself. As the 3rd year passed, and then the 4th, things started to change. Slowly, so slowly that I almost didn't notice at first. Liam's business was growing. He was getting more successful. He moved to a bigger office. He hired people. I was so happy for him. But he became busier. Much busier. He started canceling our plans more often. I'm so sorry, Zoe. A client meeting just came up. It's very important. Or, I have to work this weekend. We have a big deadline. I understood. I tried to be the supportive girlfriend. It's okay, Liam. I understand. Work is important. But I was lonely. My evenings became very quiet. I ate dinner alone a lot. The way he talked about the future also changed. It was less about us and more about me. He would say, when I get this next big project, or I need to buy a better car to impress clients. I felt a little sting when he said these things. What about us? What about our house? What about the end of the 5 years? The 5-year mark came. It was a normal Tuesday. I thought he would say something. Plan a special dinner. Talk about our next step. But he didn't. He came home late from work, very tired. He just ate his dinner and went to sleep. I lay in bed next to him. My heart felt heavy. 5 years. I waited for 5 years. Was he going to say anything? The next day, I gathered my courage. Liam, I said gently, it's been 5 years. He looked at me. He seemed confused for a moment. Then he remembered. Oh, he said. Yes, 5 years. Wow, time flies. That was it. No excitement. No, we did it. So I started, my voice a little shaky. What's our plan now? He sighed. He ran his hand through his hair, a sign he was stressed. Zoe, look at the business. It's doing well, yes, but it's not stable enough yet. I'm still paying off loans. We need more time. A little more time. The economy is not great. It's not the right time to buy a house. His words were like a punch in my stomach. More time. How much more time? How much more time, Liam? I asked. I don't know, he said, his voice getting a little annoyed. Maybe 2 more years, just to be safe. We need to be smart about this. Don't you want a secure future? He made me feel like I was being unreasonable, impatient. He made me feel guilty for asking. So I agreed. Okay, I whispered. 2 more years. What else could I do? I had already invested 5 years of my life. Walking away felt impossible. It felt like giving up on everything we had built. So I pushed down my disappointment. I pushed down my fear. I decided to wait. More. The next 2 years were harder. The distance between us grew. Liam was in a different world now. A world of business meetings, expensive dinners with clients, and networking events. I was not part of that world. He started going to these events alone. You would be bored, Zoe, he'd say. It's just boring business talk. So I stayed home, in our waiting room. My life. I was 32 years old. My friends had children now. Their lives were moving forward. My life was standing still. The bakery felt small. My dreams felt forgotten. I felt like I was just Liam's girlfriend, the girl who was waiting. It was my whole identity. The loneliness was deep. Sometimes I would try to talk to him about it. "Liam, I feel like we are drifting apart," I said one night. He was looking at his phone. He didn't look up. "We're not drifting apart, Zoe," he said, his eyes still on the screen. "I'm just busy. I'm doing this for us." But it didn't feel like it was for us anymore. It felt like it was for him. He started dressing differently. Expensive suits. A fancy watch. He bought a new, expensive car. The car he needed for his clients. But we still lived in my small apartment. He said it was better for saving money. It didn't make sense. Doubt was a constant visitor in my mind. A cold, quiet whisper. Is he still the same man? Does he still love you? Is this future ever going to happen? I tried to silence the voice. I reminded myself of his promises, of the early years. I held onto the memory of the man I fell in love with. I was afraid to face the truth that he was changing. Or maybe he was just showing his true self. The 7 years passed, and then 8, and then 9. Every time I asked about our future, he had a new excuse. "We need more savings. I want to expand the business to another city first. Let's wait until after this big project is finished." The goal was always moving. The finish line was always just a little further away. I felt so stupid, so naive, but I was also trapped. My whole life was built around him. My friends stopped asking about our wedding. They just looked at me with pity in their eyes. I hated that look. So I started avoiding my friends. I started avoiding my family. The secret of my unhappy waiting was too heavy to share. I was alone with it, completely alone. I was 34 years old. I looked in the mirror. I saw a tired woman. The sparkle in my eyes was gone. The hope was fading. It was being replaced by a dull ache, a constant sadness. I had given him my youth, the best years of my life, for a promise that felt more and more like a lie. The 10th year was the last year. I didn't know it then, but it was. I was turning 35, a big number. It felt important. I decided that this was it. I couldn't wait anymore. I needed a real answer, a real commitment, a ring, a wedding date, or I had to leave. The thought of leaving was terrifying. It felt like tearing myself in half. But the thought of waiting another year felt like dying. I planned to talk to him on my 35th birthday. I would make a nice dinner. I would sit him down. I would tell him calmly that I needed to get married this year, or I was done. I practiced the words in my head. I felt scared, but also strong. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was taking control of my life. My birthday was a week away. I was at the bakery working. An old friend, Sarah, came in. I hadn't seen her in a long time. We used to be very close. We hugged. It felt good to see her. We talked for a few minutes. "How are you, Zoe?" she asked. "How is Liam?" "We're good," I said, the usual lie. "He's very busy with work." She looked at me with a strange expression. A mix of sadness and pity. The look I hated. "Zoe," she said hesitantly, "there's something I think you should know." I wasn't sure if I should say anything. My heart started beating fast. "What is it, Sarah?" She took a deep breath. "I was at a party last weekend, a friend's party. Liam was there." "Okay," I said. "He went to a lot of parties without me. He had a lot of work events." "It wasn't a work event, Zoe," she said softly. "And he wasn't alone. He was with a woman. Her name is Olivia. He introduced her to everyone as his fiancée." The word hit me like a physical blow. Fiancée. The world around me went silent. The smell of bread disappeared. The sounds of the bakery faded away. All I could hear was that one word, fiancé. It echoed in my head. Fiancé, fiancé, fiancé. I must have looked strange. Sarah grabbed my arm. "Zoe, are you okay?" I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. He was engaged to someone else, while I was at home waiting for him, planning my ultimatum. He was living another life with another woman. The past 10 years flashed before my eyes. All the promises, all the waiting, all the sacrifices. It was all a lie. A cruel, long 10-year lie. I don't remember much about the rest of that day. I think Sarah drove me home. I sat on my sofa in the apartment where I waited for him, staring at the walls. It couldn't be real. It had to be a mistake, a misunderstanding. He came home late that night. He walked in, smiling. "Hey," he said cheerfully, like it was any other day. He didn't know that I knew. He didn't know that my world had been completely destroyed. I looked at him, the man I loved, the man I gave 10 years of my life to. He was a stranger, a liar. "Who is Olivia?" I asked. My voice was quiet, empty. His smile disappeared. His face went pale. He knew. "What?" he stammered. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Don't lie to me, Liam," I said. My voice was stronger now, fueled by a pain so deep it felt like anger. "Sarah saw you. She told me. You're engaged." He didn't say anything for a long time. He just looked at the floor. He couldn't even look at me. Finally, he whispered, "Zoe, I'm so sorry. I didn't know how to tell you." Sorry, that one word. It was supposed to fix 10 years of lies. "When?" I asked. "How long?" "We met about a year ago," he said, still looking down. "She's a lawyer. She works with one of my clients. We just connected. She understands my world. She understands his world. The world he never let me into. The world I was not good enough for." Tears started streaming down my face. Hot, angry tears. "And me, Liam. Did you ever think about me? I waited for you. I gave you everything. 10 years of my life." "I know," he said. "And I will always be grateful for that. I never meant to hurt you. Never meant to hurt me." I almost laughed. It was a crazy, broken sound. "You built your success on my waiting, on my support. And then you gave the prize to someone else. You didn't just hurt me, Liam. You destroyed me. He finally looked at me. There were tears in his eyes, but I didn't care. His tears meant nothing. "It just happened, Zoe," he said. "I fell in love with her. I was going to tell you. After your birthday." He was going to ruin my life after my birthday. How thoughtful. The fight was long. I screamed. I cried. I asked why over and over again. He gave me empty answers, vague excuses. He said he still cared about me. He said he would always love me in a way. It was all meaningless noise. By the end of the night, he was gone. He packed a bag and left the apartment. My apartment, the waiting room. And just like that, 10 years of my life ended. He was gone. The future he promised me was gone, and I was left alone with nothing. I was 35 years old, and my life was a wasteland. The first few months after Liam left were a blur of pain. I felt like a ghost. I walked through my days, but I wasn't really there. Everything hurt. Waking up in the morning hurt. The silence in the apartment was deafening. Going to work at the bakery hurt. Every happy couple I saw felt like a personal insult. I cried all the time, in the shower, on my way to work, in the middle of the night. The tears just never seemed to stop. I felt so much shame. I felt like a fool. How could I have been so blind? How could I have waited for so long? I was embarrassed to see my friends and family. I didn't want to see their pity. I didn't want to answer their questions. So I isolated myself. Just me and my heavy, heavy grief. I felt like I had wasted my life. My 20s and my early 30s. Gone. Given to a man who threw them away like garbage. All my friends had careers, houses, families. I had nothing. Just a broken heart and a small, lonely apartment. The dream of my own cake shop felt like a joke. A silly dream from a naive girl who didn't exist anymore. One day, my mother came over. I hadn't answered her calls, so she just showed up. She found me sitting in the dark. The apartment was a mess. I was a mess. She didn't say, "I told you so." She just held me. She let me cry. She sat with me in the silence. Her presence was a small light in my very dark world. "It's not your fault, Zoe," she whispered. "You loved him. You had a good heart. He was the one who was wrong, not you." Hearing her say that helped, a little. It was the first time I realized that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't the only one to blame. I was naive, yes, but he was cruel. He lied. He used me. Slowly, very slowly, I started to take small steps, tiny steps. I started cleaning my apartment. I threw away everything that reminded me of him. Pictures, gifts, old memories. It was painful. Every object told a story of a lie. But it was also necessary. I needed to remove him from my space, from my life. I went back to work. My boss was very kind. She understood. My colleagues were supportive. They didn't ask questions. They just gave me small smiles and made me cups of tea. Being busy helped. It gave my mind something else to focus on, even for a few hours. I started walking. Long walks after work, with no destination, just walking and thinking. I thought about the last 10 years. I allowed myself to feel the anger, the deep, burning anger at Liam, but also the anger at myself. Why didn't I listen to my doubts? Why didn't I value myself more? Why did I make his dream more important than my own? These were hard questions, and the answers were painful. I had lost myself while waiting for him. I had forgotten who Zoe was. I had become just an extension of Liam, his supporter, his cheerleader, his patient, waiting girlfriend. I had forgotten that I had my own dreams, my own life to live. This realization was a turning point. It was sad, but also liberating. My life wasn't over. It just felt that way. I was 35, not 85. I still had time. Time to find myself again. Time to build a life for me. I started doing things I used to love. Things I had stopped doing because of Liam. I started reading books again. I joined a little book club at the local library. I was nervous at first, but the people were nice. We talked about books, not about our personal lives. It was a safe space. And then I started baking again. Not just at work, but at home, for me. I tried new recipes. I made a mess in my small kitchen. I experimented with decorations. And I remembered the joy it gave me. The simple, pure joy of creating something beautiful. My old dream, the little cake shop, didn't feel so silly anymore. It felt possible. Distant, but possible. Healing is not a straight line. There are good days and bad days. Some days, I wake up and feel strong, hopeful. I feel excited about my future, a future that belongs only to me. Other days, the sadness comes back. The loneliness feels heavy. I see a happy couple, and my heart still hurts a little. I think about the wasted years, the what-ifs, and that's okay. I am learning to be patient with myself. Healing takes time. 10 years of damage cannot be fixed in a few months. I am 35. I am single. I am starting over. It is not the life I planned. It is not the future he promised me. But it is my life. And I am learning to live it for myself. I am learning that my value is not tied to a man. My happiness does not depend on a promise from someone else. It depends on me, on the promises I make to myself. I promise myself to never lose who I am for someone else again. I promise myself to listen to my own voice. I promise myself to follow my own dreams, even if they are small. They are mine. If you are listening to my story, maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you are waiting for someone. Maybe you are putting your own dreams on hold. Please listen to my words. Don't waste your precious time. Don't put your life on pause. Your life is happening right now. You are important. Your dreams are important. It's okay to love someone. It's okay to support them. But don't forget to support yourself too. Don't be afraid to ask for what you need. Don't be afraid to walk away if something feels wrong. It is scary to be alone. But it is much scarier to be with someone who makes you feel alone. My story is a sad one, but I hope it can also be a story of hope. It is never too late to start again. It is never too late to choose yourself. I am still healing. I am still learning. But for the first time in a very long time, I feel free. And that is a promise I am keeping to myself. Keep going. You can do this.